It's on!
I guess my running in my version of that video is quite accurate of an adult portraying a, what was he, 5 in that video?
Is this it? I don't know which video that
Ahoy! Ahoy!
is. No, that's not it. Is it this one?
It's my
Jeremiah?
The fake crowd noise always throws me off.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that, because I don't think the background noise on mine is as bad as the one with Gideon, but you know.
Doobie and Rebecca and Gideon are currently on the Disney Dream. So I'm filling in, which makes perfect sense because I'm not normally on the show and very rarely have seen it. But
I think you've seen it.
I've seen it, but
you
not
jumped
that
in
much.
at times.
I will say, it turns out they could have joined because they are still in port. There's the ship.
Tell him to
Just
get on.
there.
He should have cell service well enough.
Yeah, I know. He should join the party. But alas, here we are. We're going to talk about Parks Talk. Now, obviously, we talked about Magic Key and Galactic Starcruiser on special editions last week, but we will get going with some of the other news that happened since last Monday. But I did want to start with Disney Cruise Line because I did have a question for you guys that I didn't prep you for because I wanted a real answer. So Disney Cruise Line is obviously starting again, hopefully. We all have had experiences of returning to the parks when they were sort of ramping back up and, didn't have everything operating because, there were more restrictions than there are today. And I think it's one thing to go to Disneyland or Walt Disney World with those restrictions because the time and money involved is not nearly as significant as a cruise. So you have both been on cruises. What would you rather, let's say, I don't want to say money's no object because obviously then you do whatever you want, but let's say you had the money, it wasn't going to be, you had a money budget for a cruise. Would you want to wait or are you just so excited to get back that you would go today?
I'd wait.
I think I would also wait.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I mean, forget the sort of operational, LP curiosity you have of like wondering what it's like in this mode. But even when we're in the parks, it just sort of felt like it's nice to be back. It's good to be back, but I can't wait for it to be really back. And
yeah, the parks are a different story because they're kind of like, I know Jeremiah probably feels this way too, but I was going to the park so regularly pre-pandemic that it kind of became like my lifeblood, like it was like a shock to my system to not be going once a week. So it's nice to have that in any form. The cruise, I would be okay waiting until things got more back to normal.
Yeah, I think I agree that it makes sense to wait a little bit.
But you know who it doesn't make sense to wait a little bit for?
What's that?
Oh.
Hey, Davey.
I have no idea the quality of my connection here, so if it's not working out, let me know. But hey, how's it going? I'm here from the Disney Dream.
You're just a little out of sync, but otherwise you look good.
Yeah, they have Godzilla on the funnel vision, so I'm just trying to see.
So silly question. Why do you think that we're interested in this view?
Because
What's the camera
I'm on the Disney Dream. If I flip the camera, you're going to see my battery pack.
Well, okay.
Is the aqueduct running?
The aqueduct is running.
I've already been on it.
Sorry, my battery is so low. I've been so busy that I have to keep it plugged in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, nope, that didn't do it. Sorry, no, that was my fault. Camera.
It's not actually that important, Jimmy.
Did it work?
Look,
Okay.
Ooh,
All right.
lost him.
Well, we got a taste of it.
yeah.
So, Jeremiah, I think you kind of had the big news. Hop reopened, right?
Yes. Every time somebody does that, it throws me. Yes, the Hall of Presidents.
I'm sorry, I said Hop. Oh, yeah, Hall of Presidents.
Not that movie about the rabbit.
Yeah.
No, Hall of Presidents did reopen for a surprise opening. The Parks blog, when they put up the picture of President Biden, they said sometime in August, and we had no idea when. And just a few days ago, I get the, "Hey, are you in Magic Kingdom today?" from one of my friends saying Hall of Presidents is going to be open later. It's essentially the same show as before. They've moved Trump to the back row. He is still there in all of the presidential roll call. And then when they get to the current president, before President Biden talks, George Washington starts to say his speech about how everybody felt scared to have to say the oath of office. And then they cut to Biden saying the oath of office, and he says it, and that's it. It was definitely strange. It's the first non-speech since George W.
No, George Bush.
George Bush.
Yeah, Clinton is the one who started the speeches, and then that continued through President Trump.
So,
But yeah,
the recording is just from the swearing in. It's not like newly recorded.
no, I would say that it's a newly recorded because it's not paused. It's him saying it normal. So,
Okay.
I mean, there hasn't been any official word of why there isn't a speech, but we had with the last changes, it seemed that there was challenges for the guest visiting. So I think the change is good. It keeps the show much shorter. Also, I mean, even though the speeches have only been like 2 or 3 minutes, this is quick to the point, and you're done. It's kind of like how they edited the Country Bear and Tiki Room.
Yeah, and I mean, the speech was sort of a new addition for the Clinton administration anyway. It's unfortunately the country's become more politicized. So, it's nice to see that the office is still respected through having the show and updating the show. And, it's not, I think, Disney's place to judge presidents, but it kind of just makes it more about the office again and less about the individual.
Yeah. The show is the same, the idea of the president that was started with the last administration. So that hasn't changed. And it does a really good job of going pretty much from George Washington and his start of what the president is, all the way up to, it was really, Obama was the last president in there, and then they would cut to the grand reveal of everybody. So they didn't update anything. And the normal is that they usually wait every 8 years before they do a major update for it. So it was just kind of an easy drop in Biden, and then we'll see what happens in 4 years.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it depends on who's the president in 4 years, but fun fact. Well, no, I'm not going to go there. So we did briefly talk about cruise line because it's starting, but I do want to share that the Disney Wish construction seems to be going. We can't really say much about the Disney Wish right now. I'm sure we'll have more to say later in the month, but it's actually it's one of those things where they announce a new cruise ship. It seems like nothing happens forever, and then eventually something does. and so it's nice to see it actually look like a ship. You can see at least a Disney ship and not just like a hole. So
Yeah, the video is on Twitter or on one of the sites, right? There was a video of this, Benji?
I think so.
Okay, so the video is very nice of them pretty much bringing the ship together as a whole, because the ship's essentially built in two separate parts and then they bring it all together. So seeing this all come about is pretty amazing. The Wish, I think, is going to blow a lot of fans away that enjoy cruising. And that's all I've got to say about that.
I do want to just, Justin, I think he's talking about Hop. Do you think it was a budget cut? I think the budget is extended every 4. If it's an 8 year, if they get an 8-year president, they have some more money saved away. But I don't know that it's as much a budget cut as much as the show just doesn't need to be reinvented with every administration. They've taken time to. They've changed it a couple of times over the year. Last time it was a sort of a bigger change, but I think they just want to keep it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Particularly, when there's a lot of other things that they're working on. And hi, Kidder.
Hello.
And so, Mike, I'd like to go to you. You recently went to Disneyland.
Yeah, I had a nice day at both parks on Friday, although I spent most of my time at Disneyland, and then kind of spent an hour or two over at DCA at the end of the day. But I wasn't expecting much new, but there was a lot of little stuff, I would say, that we got out of that trip. As you know, it's still kind of midsummer.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I used to tell when we're planning our stuff, it's like August and October are kind of slow because it's like they're not quite ready for Halloween yet. They're working on that. And then once Halloween starts, then, nothing changes until after Halloween.
Right.
So, but you did get to see a new photo op at the old AMC theaters, which is still being used as such.
I think the last time I was there, this was all Avengers Campus banners and posters and stuff, and it's all been switched over to the Magic Bake Off.
Yeah, it's a new baking competition. It's going to debut on Disney Channel this Friday, Friday the 13th of August. So yeah, I mean, it's neat, and they have a photo op too, right? It's not, they have the banners and all that, but then they have a sort of
there it is.
A location that you can step in front of. And also Wonderground Gallery changed a little bit too, right?
Yeah, so it was shut down. I don't know how long it was down for kind of a refresh, at least a few days, but they added some more displays, some new shelving. It's kind of closer to what it used to be before the Star Wars Trading Post had moved in there. So I think once they had reopened that, I think they wanted to add a little bit more just as far as like display space goes, which is what they did.
Make it more of a gallery instead of like, designed for soft goods and stuff like that.
I know when I was out there, like it was definitely lacking a lot of the display that they had prior, because and I also think it may have also been social distancing was one of the keys of that, because it was much more open in there. But when I saw the announcement of Wonderground Gallery reopening, I was like, wait, I was just there like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was down for very long that it wasn't available. But yeah, like you said, it had just recently reopened after they moved the Trading Post over to the Rainforest Cafe. I guess that was like 6 months or more ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it probably, I don't even remember.
So, I have a question. Together. Did you get a chance to go into the Star Wars Trading Post?
Yes.
And do they still have the Legacy lightsabers in there? Because this is something that I realized the other day, and I forgot to grab any information. The Star Wars Trading Post here at Disney Springs no longer has Legacy lightsabers in it.
Oh no, I didn't even think to look, but I will check. I'll be back there again on Thursday, and I'll check then. They were selling Star Wars: The Last Jedi Vinylmations, which I thought was funny. Like I hadn't seen Vinylmations in years. And I
Yeah,
guess my theory is that somebody just found a box in the back somewhere, and they're like, "Well, we'll put them in the trading post."
that is the most random thing. I know that they had them here. They had them sitting in the Star Wars, one of the Star Wars outposts, the one on the west side of Disney Springs, for a while, and they just finally pulled them out and said, "Okay, nobody's buying these."
What was the last Vinylmation set to come out?
I think it may have actually been The Last Jedi.
Okay, so 3 years, I guess.
Yeah,
roughly.
Vinylmation has definitely gone the way of the dodo. And I
Yeah,
have a
dude.
whole closet.
Boy, did it go the way of the dodo. Like it. I mean, they opened up at Trend. Was it D Street?
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, it's gone.
I got my Bosk. That's all that matters.
It's funny how Pop's like Funko still like somehow remained relevant.
Kind of, yeah. The Funko event that they just did, kind of for the San Diego Comic-Con, I know that it wasn't an immediate sellout as it has been in the past years of all the different items. So,
yeah, I remember when Funko first started getting huge at Comic-Con and stuff, and I was like, how long is this gonna last? This is gonna be a 2-year fad at most. But it was longer than that.
Probably 5 or 6 years. So
Yeah.
it's definitely on the tail end, I feel.
And then you got we can't pull up pictures right now. We're having a little bit of an issue, but they have new Mickey strollers.
Yeah, so you actually alerted me just as I was arriving there to look out for these new rentable strollers featuring the short artwork, the Mickey and Minnie artwork from the Disney Channel and now Disney Plus shorts on the left and right. It's kind of like a red stroller with yellow wheels, since we can't pull up the image to describe it. There's a single one and a double one, and I think they're $18 or $36 to rent, depending on the size. But it seemed like there were a lot of them around, and we posted photos of those over on the website.
Are they the hard? I hadn't looked at it. Are they the harder plastic ones, or are they more of the like the old style where it's more the canvas top and
the seats are hard plastic and then the sides are canvas?
Okay, so it's kind of like they just took the newer version and just kind of redid it, because I know that they'd recently redone them a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't have kids, so I'm not regularly renting the strollers, but
come
from what
on,
I've
you
seen,
can
yeah.
fit in the double wide.
I probably could. If I curl up real nice and tight.
If you try really hard. Also, Mike, I know you on opening day you had some challenges, but what do you think about Trader Sam's going to reservations?
I actually think it's a good thing. I think it's nice, knowing whether or not you're going to be able to get in there, because it's been a real dice roll. I've actually gotten in once since it reopened, but I had to put my name on the waiting list, and then they told me it was going to be several hours, and it ended up being 30 minutes. So I don't know. It's a tricky proposition. I think I wouldn't mind knowing whether or not I'm going to get in before I head over there. So I don't have any problem with that.
And then
Wait, hang on a second, Benji. I think I got it.
What's the problem?
Just the sides being funky.
Oh.
There you go.
Hey, the stroller.
It's not pop. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, it is just that is a complete redo, but it's the same essential build as the last one. I love the colors. And that goes well beyond just let's throw out a new version.
Yeah, it's almost like they want you to rent them as opposed to bringing your own. It used to be like it was just sort of like, if you didn't, we'll have them. But like this is like actively like. Do you remember the Shamu strollers that SeaWorld used to have?
Yes. I know that I had to ride in those when I was a kid, but never do I have a picture of me in them, sadly.
So, next, let's head to your neck of the woods, Jeremiah.
Okay.
Ratatouille's Remy Adventure previews are coming.
Yes, the annual pass previews, those showed up, was it on Friday?
Sure.
I know. Over the past few days, I know that first it was the Disney Vacation Club previews, then the annual pass previews, and I know cast member previews started overnight, the signups for it. From what I've seen for the dates, cast member previews are starting almost, I believe, next week. Actually, I think this week, maybe even this Wednesday is some of the first ones. And the annual pass previews start beginning of September. I believe I'm going on September 8th. And then I'm not sure what the Vacation Club dates were, but I think it's pretty close to the annual pass times. So that's exciting. That means that attraction, what they do is they normally do the annual pass previews and then they start to soft open a little bit before. And I think Velocicoaster did an excellent job of setting up the world for how to do an annual pass preview where everybody gets to go on it at least once. And then when it's opening day, it's not a 5-hour line that stretches around the park.
Yeah, it's funny how like everything that they've opened lately has had a different sort of take on it. Like there was no previews for Runaway Railway.
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland had that sort of soft opening month or whatever. Avengers Campus really didn't have any to speak of. It's like everyone's a little bit different how they're handling it. And having a month, I mean, obviously this ride's been done for a while. So having a month kind of gives them a little time to, not push everyone in. I mean, there's so many APs and DVCs and all those folks that, a lot of times it was, it was just a matter of getting enough of them in that it wasn't a dissatisfier. But
thank you very much, David. So 5th, 17th, 20th. I know that annual pass holders, I believe it's like the 4th, the 6th, the 8th. There are quite a few annual pass preview dates. And I'm not a Disney Vacation Club member, and David or Benji, I'm sure one of you, I heard that you had to be actually staying on site for the preview.
Yeah, I guess they sent out the invitations to folks that were like booked at the time. So I don't know if you had to be, like if you somehow got the link, if it would work, but that's who they reached out to. I mean, if you think it's not, if you're a DVC member and you're just like in the area, I don't think that's really the target. It's just people that happen to be there. That I think they're trying to reach out to, which they've done before. Like I've been booked there and then they say, oh, we're doing a preview of a movie or something. They don't necessarily reach out to the whole membership, just sort of folks that are, they know are have a booking that on that date. Also, we got to look at I guess they've redone the Small World facade at which I swear they just installed like a year ago. But
yeah, just a year ago or a decade ago. Do you need me to try to pull up those photos?
Sure.
Also? Okay. Yeah, this was kind of an overnight thing. They've been focusing on Fantasyland quite a bit for the 50th coming up, and they just put up a scrim, cleaned up the facade, actually built some new facades for the Peter Pan area and a brand new sign for Peter Pan. And then all of a sudden, Small World gets a little bit of a color change. I saw The first pictures that I saw, which I think were the day before, was just the front of the clock. I'm just kind of stalling until I can get the photos to load. And then when I went the following day, they had actually done both the sides of the clock, which I kind of feel that this isn't the completed version yet. I think that we may still see something else. Okay, I'm not getting the last photo, so let me just share the. It's strange that we think back to how Disneyland was when they redid the clock or the entire facade with the pastels, and then they went back to the original Mary Blair silvers and golds, and then this. There we go. Just strange.
It's like the I don't know what year did they do that to Disneyland?
That was late 80s, like 89, I think. It was. I know it was after Bank of America was done with their them doing it, and then it went to the pastels, and then it didn't change until early 2000s was when it went back to.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, it was because it went to the pastels after Disneyland Paris opened, and then it went to the white. I want to say like around the 50th, huh?
Yeah, it must have been the finished version. This one, I really am expecting that I will go sometime next week, and then they'll have done more of the background, because there's such the weird contrast with the blue, green, and pink on the side. They keep some of the whites, but they almost go a little bit more pastel. I mean, you can look up at the top and you can see that one of the triangles is complete while the other one isn't. This side looks like it's still under work. And then you have the greens and the pink and purples over here that just completely clash with the classic white and the gold on each side. So we will see how it ends up. They still have, roughly a month and 3 quarters before the 50th starts. And why not do something that wasn't part of the 50th when it began? Or what part of the attraction when it began here?
Right. Although I gotta say, I worked at Small World for a time, and that facade has added so much life to that queue. I mean, it used to just be nothing, right? Just a wall, and it's so much better with. I mean, it's not like Disneyland, but the space to do it like Disneyland. So which is ironic, but yeah, I don't know that it needed a color update, but since it has it, great. Speaking of the 50th, though, we got, which makes me, as Alex likes to say, the 25th anniversary of the 25th anniversary celebration. They previewed some new merchandise, and there's like a bunch of different lines. There's a retro line, there's like a high-end line, and it's going to start coming out on Thursday.
The 12th, yes, but that's just that is the preview. I was looking at some of that earlier because I was like, okay, is there something that I need to get on that first day? And I believe it is just Tervis, a Spirit jersey, a very strange pass holder shirt / Spirit jersey, and I don't remember what the last one was. And now, of course, I'm having difficulty.
Here we go. Here's the Parks blog. So this is the pre-celebration line, which basically is a lot of logo stuff. I mean, it's got some. You have a pass holder shirt in case you wanted people to know that you're a pass holder.
I have no problem with some of the pass holder shirts. I can honestly say that I've had some in the past, but that blue and white it's the world's most magical celebration logo in the center with pass holder down the sleeve. I mean, I don't think it's a Spirit jersey, but it just comes across as very strange.
Then you have the Celebration collection, which I think has more souvenirs like you're used to, like mouse ears, a photo frame, a dress, t-shirts. but then also the 50th anniversary soap dispenser.
Hey, judging by how much that the soap dispenser they just put out a few weeks ago has sold out multiple times at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, that is a good investment right there for your hand washing needs.
Then they have the castle collection, which seems like it might be a little bit more focused. Well, I guess it's obviously focused on the actual castle overlay that they've done. Not a cake this year, just sort of decor. Then the Vault collection, which is probably up on alley. You got a candy dish here, some retro T-shirts, and then the Iridescent collection, which does have the Spirit jersey and the pin. And then they shared a look at what this is. World of Disney, what the merchandise display will look at like.
And then the next one, which is the world's weirdest merchandise line, the jogging suits.
Yeah, although this looks really expensive because they call it the Lux Logo Collection and upscale. And when Disney says upscale, that just means expensive. And that will debut in November.
That's the stuff that you wear to the Starcruiser.
Jeffrey, I'd like to correct you. You probably didn't pick up a vintage ashtray. You probably picked up a vintage candy dish. Yeah, I'm curious about the size too. So on Thursday, I'm sure Jeremiah will be someplace that is selling some of the stuff, and he'll get us pictures that maybe we'll be able to upload to our site.
And maybe our site will be able to share it with everybody. But yes, we will definitely. I know that it said Thursday. It's for sale all across the resort and at Disney Springs. So it won't be, and select items will be available at Disney Resort hotels and Shop Disney. So, you don't have to worry about that first day running to the parks. It'll be available. And, most of this should hopefully be available throughout the entire 18 months. But I know, we've seen a lot of the merchandise that has popped up and not been available shortly thereafter due to supply issues, as the world has said to us.
So I'd like to play a little game before we wrap up with each of you.
Ooh.
And we're going to give you 4 things. And I want you to tell me which. Actually, I want you to rank them.
Should we get Mac on here?
Assuming you will experience these things, which you may not experience all these things, but let's say you are. And, the 50th anniversary celebration, the Disney Wish.
I like Mike is taking notes.
The Disney Wish.
Mm-hmm.
Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. And Galactic Starcruiser. So, Jeremiah, I'll start with you. Rank them.
We had this discussion, I think, the other day. I would go Wish. I'd go Starcruiser because I want to be there to see the original version. Because I feel like in 2 years, when they change the storyline out, it'll be different. Starcruiser, Wish, 50th, Remy's.
Okay, Mike?
I ranked my list before Jeremiah said his, and I had the exact same ranking.
So, Galactic Starcruiser, Disney Wish, 50th, Remy. I think the biggest question there would be Wish and Galactic Starcruiser. To me, that's the closest toss-up. Just because, obviously, the Wish you're going to be on longer, and it's a little bit more of a known quantity in terms of service and experience, but still being brand new. But I think I will agree with you guys because it'll be interesting to see this new form of storytelling, whether it's successful or not. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to, if you get on it before they turn it into a regular hotel, what it ends up being. And, I think that's what makes it most exciting.
If you'd like to hear an extended conversation about the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser featuring Inside the Magic founder Ricky Briganti, tune into Laughing Places Star Wars podcast, Who's the Boss, on Thursday.
And we also have that hour I think that almost ran an hour and a half conversation that was really me, Mike, and Doobie versus Tony, with Kyle just kind of sitting in the background, that we did a few days ago, all about the Galactic Starcruiser.
That too.
But who's
Well,
the
join
boss?
us later tonight at 7:30 for Movie Club for Mrs. Doubtfire, that famous,
No!
that classic Disney film. And we will see you later. Thanks so much for joining, everybody.